Good morning, students. This is Diksha, your computer teacher. So today we are going to move forward in this chapter. So in my last video, we discussed up to gradient. So gradient is implementing a blend of color on your object. That means when we are blending two colors, where it should be light, where it should be darker, this you will decide using gradient. Now for gradient, first I will move forward this topic, that is how can you change your gradient, the proper design of the gradient. Okay, for that I'm first implementing gradient. Okay, here we have swatch. I'm selecting a color. I drawed a square with a gradient. Okay, so this is a triangle with different fixed color, and this is with a gradient. Now for changing this model of this gradient, what we can do, okay, we have to select first gradient tool. Okay, so we will check for gradient tool here. Okay, so when we will right click on this particular tool, you can find we have a gradient transform tool. So we click on it, then we will select the particular object on which we want to change the gradient. Now in gradient we have few movements, that is how to rotate it, how to change the center of your gradient, and next is how to change width of the gradient. So we will do these three things. So for rotation, you have to select this. You have to basically select this and rotate. So in this way you can rotate the gradient. Okay, that means the gradient has been rotated. Now if I want to change the center, that means I want to move the basic color of the gradient. You can see this part has become darker and this has become this has become lighter and this one has become darker. So in this way you can change the center of the gradient. Now suppose I'm keeping like this. Now I want to change the size of the gradient. I will click on this and expand or contract. So in this way I can change the size of, or we can say width of the gradient. Okay, now next thing that we will see here is what are the different radical gradients. That means this is radical. If you want to change the gradient here, then what you can do, now here you can see that for this how I did it, I will show you. Okay, this you understood. Now if I want to change the radius, that means how my gradient should look, for that I have to first select this tool, then we'll go select the object, then we'll go for this particular color. Okay, this is basically your property inspector. Okay, so here if I will change, that is reflect color, if I'm going with repeat color, so these are the different your gradient. Now if I'm going with linear gradient, that means the gradient will be implemented in a line. Okay, now if I'm going with bitmap fill, so it will show different, it will. Now next we have solid color, that means if I don't want to implement any kind of gradient, so I am going with radical. Now this you can change accordingly. Okay, in this way I can select color, whatever color I want. Okay, so this is basically all about gradient. Now talking about shape. Now when we are talking about shape, I will go with this particular object that I have drawn earlier. So here we have a rectangle. Now suppose if you want to change the shape, you can go for free transform tool. Again, right click on gradient. Now click on free transform tool. After this, I will select this particular tool. Okay, this tool has been selected. Now you have different options. Now if I want to rotate, I can simply, when I will have this particular, see, a rotation sign is indicating in my cursor. When I have this particular sign, I will rotate, click and rotate, click or drag. Okay, now if I want to change the size, I will simply expand or contract. Okay, contract. Now next is your skew. Now skew means the shape will be distorted, means shape will be changed, but the area will not change. Okay, now you can see we have a particular kind of indication for that. My cursor has changed its shape. I will click and move. As I will move, it is changing its shape, but area is fixed. That means line or area covered or the size of line is not changing. Keep that in mind. Okay, so this is all about your transforming the shape, in which you have done skewing, flipping an object. Okay, for flipping an object, we will simply go to modify, then transform. You can see we have different options here, that is distort, envelop, scale, rotate. So here we have vertical flipping and horizontal flipping also. So in this way we can implement transform on our object. Okay, now next thing we have is importing graphics. That means importing a picture. For that we can go to file option. Okay, we can click on import. Now from here we have to click on import to stage. Okay, so as I have clicked, I got this image. I will open and it has been imported. So in this way we can import graphs. Now this was all about your any kind of work on the stage. Okay, now we will see that how can we animate. So we, here it is mentioned that we have two type of animation, that is frame by frame animation and twinned animation. Okay, so here we'll talk about tint twinning. Okay, tint twinning is basically your color twinning. That means your text will change color. That we will see in this video. Wait, let it respond. So here I have created a new stage. As I clicked on create, it will create a stage for me. Now for twinning, what we have to do, first we have to create a text. Okay, for that I'm going to text option. I've selected text tool. I will go to text modification, then I will simply select the size, that is 120, and style will be my bold. Okay, now after this I will just click on it. Okay, it is taking a bit of time. Okay, see my text box has been created. Now I'm writing SMRJSB. So after creating this particular text, the next thing you have to do is convert it into symbol. For converting it into symbol, we will select the selection tool. Then we will go with your selecting this particular text, then we will go for modify, then click on convert to symbol. So we are having this option, so I will go and change its next as text, graphic, type is graphic, and click on OK. So my text has been converted into symbol. Okay, now next thing is, now we have to add frame. Now where we will add frame, we will add frame in your timeline. So up to 30 we will select a frame up to 30. Okay, wait, we'll click on 30. Now for inserting a frame, I will click on F5. So a frame has been inserted. Now within this frame I am inserting 3 keyframes. Now for inserting 3 keyframes I have to go with 10. For inserting keyframe you have to click on this icon, then 20 icon, then 30, again clicking on icon. So I have inserted frame, I have inserted keyframe. Okay, now I will change tint. That means I will implement different colors. Okay, so first I will select first frame, then we'll go to property inspector, we will select the frame mode, and then we will go for color effect. Now I'm selecting tint. So you can see right now the tint is 100%, the red is 255, and your green is 0, and we have to convert blue into 0. So the color has been changed. Now next we will implement tint on frame 10. The next keyframe is our 10. So we will go and select 10. The same process we will repeat, but the value will be changed. Keep in mind the value will change. Now here the value for different color will be red 0, green 255, and blue 0. Red 0, green 255, and blue 0. Okay, now same with frame 20. Okay, here the value will be, okay, I have to go to color effect, tint is 100%. The value here should be red 0, green 0, and blue 255. Okay, so I have changed this. Now same with frame 30. That means we have three keyframes, so we have to implement this setting on all the keyframes. Tint, the values will be okay, red 255, green 0, blue 0. So again the red color. Okay, so I have implemented this all the settings. Now next we will see is that how can we add this twinning. So for adding twinning we have to click on timeline. That is first keyframe is from 1 to 10. So we will select from 1 to 10. We will right click on 1 to 10 and click on create classic tween. Okay, again from 10 to 20 we have second keyframe. Now 20 to 30 we have third keyframe. I have added this classic tween to these 3 keyframes. Now next we have is, now we will see that what is the output that we did. Okay, I will go to control option, we will select test movie in Animate. Okay, now you see the output of this tint, that how exactly tint works. See, as my animation, the frame is moving in the timeline, the color is changing. The color that I selected, that tint, basically the tint I implemented through property inspector. Okay, so this is basically how to implement tint. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Thank you. Have a nice day.